Hello and welcome back to my channel, The Rugby Guru. Thank you for tuning in. And today we have a very special guest with me in the studio, none other than Western Province and Stormers Flyhalf sensation, Jurie Matthee. Jurie, welcome to my channel.
Thank you so much, Johan. Thanks for having me, and yeah, looking forward to our conversation.
Perfect. Jurie, can you share some insights into your rugby journey? What inspired you to pursue a career in rugby?
I always loved rugby. From a young age, I was always a little boy with a ball in hand. Really enjoyed the game, and yeah, I just fell in love with it from the start. And there was no specific person in my life that influenced me to become a professional rugby player. I always had a dream of just enjoying the game, loving it, and playing it. So yeah, I always had a dream of maybe one day pursuing a career, but yeah, always I guess seeing myself as a balanced guy, so focusing on both rugby, my studies in school, and yeah, as it happened, my journey was a more unconventional one. Later about my journey in school and how it played out, but yeah, I just enjoy the game and still love it to this day.
Yeah, Yuri, of course, went to school at Paul Gymnasium in the Western Cape, known as one of the best rugby schools in South Africa. Tell us a little bit more of how competitive school rugby is and your time at the school.
Yeah, so I think in South Africa, we have one of the most competitive schoolboy leagues in the world. I think without a doubt, it's one of the strongest and most important actually. Yeah, the way the schools compete nowadays, the programs they follow, it's actually quite professional, and I don't think you'll get it in a lot of places in the world. My time at Polcham was a bit of a my specific rugby journey was a bit up and down, I guess. Yeah, I always wanted to play first team, and you want to play in the first team for a school that almost puts you in the right track to play Craven Week and going into the provincial levels. But that didn't happen. I actually played second team for most of my career and played second team at the end of matric as well. Played a bit first team and then second team. So um, obviously, it felt like a door that shut on my career. But yeah, still pursued rugby, still worked hard, and eventually gone on to Maties, where we actually yeah still played rugby and studied a bit, and yeah, from there just elevated and took a turn into the good. So yeah, but to come back to your point, I think schoolboy rugby in South Africa is amazing and very good competition.
Yeah, you went on to study at the University of Stellenbosch and represented Maties throughout your time there. I think you made your debut in 2021 and you also
Yeah.
captained the side in 2023. Now, I know you didn't play Craven Week, just like you said at school, second team. And the Varsity Cup was where you made your breakthrough as a player. How important do you think the Varsity Cup is in terms of exposures to players that didn't play Craven Week? Would you say that is the next opportunity for a rugby player if they didn't make Craven Week?
Definitely on. I think what the Varsity Cup benefits a player is it gives you the time to actually create your backup plan as well and your plan B. You can study something in your off time. You actually have a lot of off time as a rugby player. So to pursue something and actually building something you can use in the future after rugby, it's something we quite often not talk about. And your career span is only 10 years, and it's only the a bunch of guys that makes it and um, yeah, in pursuing rugby, you got to think of that backup plan. So coming to Varsity Cup, I think it's a great fallback and a safety net for players that didn't go through the pathway of professional rugby. And nowadays with the pathway programs at unions, there's so few contracts that's get given out to schoolboy rugby. So it's very important actually for Varsity Cup to entail or to get that players just for them actually to have another opportunity at showcasing what they've got. after rugby in school.
Yeah. So tell me, at your time with Maties, what was your most memorable moment playing for the Maties?
A quite memorable moment for me personally was captaining the team. It's always a privilege and leading guys that you bleed with on the field. It's a proud moment for me where I always grew up as a lighty and always wanted to play for Mortis as well. Um, so that was a proud moment for me personally. I think playing in the 2022 final, losing it at the end with that controversial pass at the end was also a good memory. Although we didn't won, it's still always good to play in front of a full Donny Craven stadium and with all the students there. It's quite a privilege. It's quite a privilege, and also in 2023, winning Poch in Poch was quite special. I mean, it's quite a hostile environment, so playing there is quite intimidating, but getting the win there was also quite special.
Perfect. So going back to that final in 2022, the last try by Bernard van der Linde in that final in
Yeah.
dying minutes, what was the thoughts and the feeling during that moment and specifically after that moment when the final whistle went?
Johan, I'm not a guy that sits on decisions and refs, and I'm not saying it was a fault. It's just sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it don't. I think what was important is we had the game in our hands there and mismanaged it a bit, and so the feeling of disgust afterwards with ourselves, because I think we had a two point or two scoring point advantage on the scoreboard, and then they scored a quick try and scored again. So I think that was the most important feeling is just losing it while you had it in your hands. The feeling of disappointment in one another, and yeah, that was quite the feeling and the distraught we had afterwards.
Well, you had a great time at Maties, and it definitely shaped the type of person and player that you became. After that, you made your debut for the Western Province Currie Cup side in 2023. How did that experience shape your transition from amateur to professional rugby?
It was quite a quick transition, and it's actually like you start in every level you reach or goes up to the next step is always a bit intimidating, and you feel like you don't know how you're going to handle yourself in that next level. But the environment in Western Province actually just was so welcoming, and they just um, try and let you express yourself on the field. And going into the first few games, I came off the bench. It was quite nerve wracking, and then you want or then you play a bit of games and or get some minutes, and you actually feel quite comfortable then. And then obviously the next step for me was to try and make the Stormers. So playing for Western Province, one of my most memorable moments was my first game at the DC, well, not the DC, the DHL Stadium, playing against the Sharks, and I actually got man of the match there, and it was quite special because Western Province. I came from province, and all you dream of as a boy to play for that. If you have the obviously the dream of playing professional rugby, so playing again in the DHL Stadium against the Sharks in this welcoming environment where province really just try and make you as comfortable as you want to be and try and express yourself was quite cool.
Yeah, no, I remember that moment quite fondly. I'm a big Shark supporter, and I was tearing my hair out of my head that day when you played that well man of the match performance in that game against the Sharks. You absolutely dominated that game. So the Currie Cup still obviously in doubt for this year. What do you think the role of the Currie Cup does in developing youngsters like yourself? Um, do you think you will be on the back foot if the competition don't take place this year?
Johan, firstly with the Currie Cup, I think um, we all heard the rumors that it's not the Currie Cup as it was in the old days, and playing in the URC as a union with like a squad of 50, 55 guys, managing two competitions such as the Heineken Cup or the Champions Cup and the URC, it's quite difficult to actually manage the squad. So, in saying that, the Currie Cup's role maybe is nowadays to develop younger players, such as myself, to get some opportunity to play, to actually showcasing your talent. I know it is tradition competition, but in saying that, we need a pathway for players to showcase their talents for the next generation. Playing in the URC, we only have 4 unions playing in the URC. Then you have smaller unions such as the Griquas, the Cheetahs, the Pumas. That's bargaining on Currie Cup. So I think it's extremely important in South Africa, and something we can't let go of. Maybe the perspective of what it is and what the purpose for it is must just change a bit. And in saying that, it's not a weaker competition, or I think it's just the timing of managing our competitions such as the URC with European schedules, with international schedules. Yeah, it's just a weird time in South Africa where we're trying to place the Currie Cup now, and finding time for it. With that being said,
Yeah, because obviously there's a lot of competition within the Stormers ranks. I think you guys are like four fly-offs vying for one position. So in saying that, the Currie Cup would have definitely be somewhere where you would have probably wanted to progress this season. And what what different route will you have to follow if that competition doesn't take place this year?
so yeah, if the Currie Cup doesn't happen, it's going to be a big loss, obviously, for a few players that was bargaining on getting some time. But yeah, with the Stormers Union specifically, I'm competing with Marnie and Sasha and John Luke. So yeah, in that, both, we don't know who's going to be with the Springboks and stuff. So if the Currie Cup doesn't happen, the next opportunity is the early start of the URC, where the Springboks are still playing the end of year two. So yeah, that's where you'll get your opportunity, and then you have to fight within your union to actually make it when the Springboks aren't here. And I'm competing currently with the Springboks. So if they aren't here, it's the guys within your union, and then you have to shine there.
Absolutely. So, from what I've seen you play, you definitely have the makings of a great fly-off. You can run, you can pass, and you can kick. And you also bring along that leadership role that you develop during your time with the Maties. What would you say is your X factor?
I think my X factor is not being the most um, X factor player, or I just think my X factor lies within making the right decision at the right time, and doing it under pressure. I'm not a guy that's afraid of taking the game on, whether that is taking bigger guys on, or seeing mismatches. I just think I'm quite a thinker on the field. So my X factor lies within that, and with that comes creating opportunities for myself to exploit mismatches, or kicking into space, or whatever it is, putting other guys into space. So that's definitely, I think, what describes my X factor.
Cool. Were there any specific players or coaches who influenced your playing style and development?
I think I was quite trying throughout my career. I was trying to um, wherever I go, take some positive out of it, and learn from the individuals I worked with. So I was fortunate to work with a guy like Peter Rousseau in Battleham, who's the head coach there. Then a guy like Abamba in Maties, and then obviously last year with Matt Proudfoot as well. I work with Darby Snyman now, and Norman Laker, and all those guys. So everywhere I go, I'm trying to take some positive out of it and learn from what they have to give. I won't say I learned from a specific individual. I like guys like Dan Carter, Johnny Wilkinson, and even nowadays Richie Mwanga. They all have their different playing styles, and yeah, watching a lot of rugby, taking the best out of what they give, you can always learn from them. So yeah, that's what I was trying to do, and trying still to till this day, try and implement in my game.
Cool. So, how is the team spirits within the Stormers camp? Winners in 2022, runners up in 2023, and now reaching the playoffs currently. How's that spirit like in the Stormers camp?
Oh, yeah, and I think we have a good team culture. Everybody's welcome. We have a good diverse mix, and it really works for us. Everybody has their role and place, and we really embrace each other, what we bring to the party. So um, obviously it's easier said than done, when you're not winning. But at the moment we have a good team spirit. Looking forward to the playoffs, and yeah, really, because we have done it already. We think we can go all the way again.
Yeah. At 23 years old, having recently signed a contract extension with the Stormers until mid 2026, what would you say is your long-term goals with the union and beyond?
At the moment, Johan, is just to get as much time as possible. I want to showcase what I can bring. I have a few opportunities this season, hoping for more in the next. Um, but my long term goal with them is just to give my all, and develop as much as I can. Um, Giving as much rugby as I has in myself, to the union, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Obviously the competition is strong, in the Stormer squad at the moment. We have a young guy like Sash and Mani, actually, and myself and John Luke. So we're trying to bring the best out of each other every day, competing for whatever position, just to get on the field. So um, yeah, really looking forward to it, and like I said, my long term goal is just to get on the field for now. It's actually then kind of a short term goal, but we'll take it from now.
Yeah, no, obviously the guys you mentioned, you're all teammates and you guys look at the broader picture of the Stormers squad. Could you tell us a little bit more about the rivalry within the squad between the guys of you?
Yeah, I won't. Uh, let's call it competition, because the rivalry is so a negative connotation. But yeah, I think it's quite tough. So we're just trying to bring the best out of each other. Work every day as hard as possible. Whether it's a kicking session on the field, or whether it's 15v15 in a training session, you're always trying to beat the other guy. And it's quite cool how competition brings the best out of you. It's the old cliche of competition, that brings the best out of you, but it's so true. Trying to be better, trying to improve on the things you're not that good at. So yeah, it's just quite cool to see how we trying to beat each other.
Yeah. So from the matches that you've played so far, there's two matches that stood out for me. The one from the game with the Sharks in 2023, and then obviously that early Heineken Cup game against the Leicester Tigers. Which one would you say stood out the most for you as an individual?
Oh, definitely the one against Leicester. Leicester obviously has a big history. It was my debut for the Stormers then as well. Playing against a guy like Henry Pollard there and making my debut against him was quite cool. And I was quite fortunate in having a decent game. So yeah, that was definitely my personal highlight of my career so far. Um, just playing on that stage, and just with all the eyes on you, it's really a special occasion, and yeah, looking forward to the ones that lies ahead in the future.
Absolutely. Being a pro rugby player does take a lot of hard training, commitment, and dedication. Could you give us an idea of how a typical training week would look like at the Stormers?
Yeah, so I guess this I've heard all of the unions have different patterns of how your week goes, but at the Stormers, we're trying to. So obviously, if you played on a Saturday, we'll come in on a Monday, have a few reviews, get the body going again with a gym session and a light field session. On Tuesday, we'll nail down detail with a bit of a more structured, detailed session. Always a gym session goes apart with it. And then on Wednesdays is our tough day where we're trying to get high speed and really get the bodies and lungs going again. Going into our rest days on Thursdays, and then Friday is usually the captain's run. If the guys not playing is our NPS session, and non-playing squad session, and then on Saturday is our game, and we're trying to keep to that structure, throughout the season.
Right. So we've heard the ox say that he eats cake for breakfast, and obviously he's a big prop forward. How does the diet routine works with guys in the back line and in yours in particular?
We actually get that quite often, how your diet looks and stuff, but um, you'll be surprised how they not manage it. I guess you quite have the freedom to eat what you want and goes about it how you would like. Um, I do think they manage to, if they obviously see you gaining weight or you have to gain weight because you're losing, they'll make adjustments to your diet. But at the moment, you probably manage it yourself. I mean, being a professional rugby player, it's kind of your duty to look at what your nutrition and what you put in your body. So, um, yeah, I guess if you can't handle it yourself or manage it yourself, nobody else can do it for you.
Absolutely. So the last question that I have for you before we end this session is, we know rugby plays a massive role in your life. What message do you have to any young aspiring rugby player out there?
I think it's just to work hard, keep believing in yourself, um, stay positive. That's very important. Um, the work you put in now don't always get rewarded the instant you put it in. It's usually sometime along the line. So yeah, just keep your head down, stay positive, and keep grinding. Keep working hard. Your body can take a lot. So keep pushing it.
Well, thank you so much, Yuri, and good luck with the future. Obviously, we'll be watching you very closely, how you progress with the Western Province and the Stormers, and really looking forward to see you cement a starting berth in that Stormers season next year. And all the best to you.
Thank you so much, John. Thanks for having me, and really, thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Right, thank you guys, and that is the end of the session. Thank you for tuning in to the channel, The Rugby Guru. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in another video.